Hello there. Today we're making a Madras Beef and Tattie pot. We're going to be using the lovely new potatoes, the Duke of York potatoes, and the lovely diced shoulder of beef from Ranaki. We're going to make some nice naan bread with it and a wee bit of salad. Anyway, to start it off, hot pan, couple of tablespoons of oil. I'm using coconut oil because I like the smell. You can use sunflower, vegetable, whatever you want, ghee if you like. One big bay leaf, one nice big piece of either cassia or cinnamon bark. Just melt that down a bit, and then in with our beefies. That's half a kilo of diced shoulder. Now, shoulders are slightly cheaper cut to your premium steak meats. Because it's a bit fatty, but with that fattiness comes this wonderful extra flavour, so do give it a try. Okay, we've got a bit of colour on our beef now. Remember, no colour, no flavour. Now I've got 2 onions that all I've done is puree them, stuck them in a blender. Now if you've got a hand blitzer you can do them like that. If you can't, just chop them as fine as you can, but you're going to get a nice smooth texture to your ruby if you your curry if you blitz them. Okay, that's them in there. I've got 2 cubes of ginger garlic paste. These are the frozen ones. You know, you can use fresh, much better, but it's hard to get nice ginger these days. So basically they're half garlic, half ginger, so you've probably got 1 tablespoon of garlic and 1 tablespoon of ginger. Okay, they go in, and we'll just cook that out for about 4 or 5 minutes. Right, that's nicely cooked out. So at this point we're going to add our currification, if you like. So we've got half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. We've got 2 teaspoons of garamassala, 1.5 teaspoons of ground coriander, 1.5 teaspoons of ground cumin, half a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper, and half a teaspoon of kashmiri chilli. Now we're using the kashmiri chilli because it's got a good red colour and it's not quite as hot. Whichever chilli powder you use, if any at all, you just put in as much as you feel you want to eat. Don't forget you already got a bit of spice in the garam masala, and you're putting black pepper in, so you know, don't put too much heat in there. So in with that, give it a good stir up. You don't want to burn these spices, that's why you haven't boiled away all of the liquid. And then into there, I've got one tin of good quality tomatoes, and I've just blitzed them. And what we're going to do now is we're going to cook this down until the oil separates out of the sauce, and then we'll know our spices are cooked and it's ready to go in a slow pot. So that's probably going to take about 5 minutes. Just while that's cooking down, I'm going to add 1 bovril cube. It's up the beefiness a bit. There we go. Oh, that's cooked down a bit now. I can see tiny bits of the oil coming up at the edges. So I'm adding 1 teaspoon of sea salt. Now if you've used a really cheap tomato, you might be wanting to look at getting a bit of sugar in there, or honey. I've used quite a good one, so I think I'm going to get away with it. I'm just rinsed out, so I've got maybe 3/4 of a pint of water. I rinsed that out to get the last of the tomatoes. And stir that in. And a little taste just to see the salt levels right. No, it wants a bit more. There we go. Now, this is going into the slow cooker for a total of 3 hours because I want this beef to be really tender. After 1 hour, I'm going to add the Duke of York potatoes. All I'm going to do is scrub them and cut them in half, but I'll show you the prep later. So off to the slow pot. Right, while that's in the slow pot, we're going to make a move on the naan bread. So we've got 500 grams of, I'm using, you can do this with self-raising flour, but I think it comes up a bit spongy. So I'm using strong bread flour, okay? So that's 500 grams of that, then 250 grams or milliliters of milk, 1 eggie, nice big Brannicky free-range egg, there we go, 4 teaspoons of baking powder. I know it sounds a lot, but that's what we're adding. There we go. Where's my spoon? There it is. 2 tablespoons of veggie oil. I'm using rapeseed. 1, 2. There we go. Now 1 teaspoon of salt. And then some nigella seeds, just half a teaspoon roughly. Nigella seeds are black onion seeds or kalwanji. You get them in the supermarket. Okay, so that's all going into the stand mixer for about 10 minutes to form a dough. If you haven't got a stand mixer, get in there with a spoon or your hand, and really you've got to knead it for a good 10 minutes. So that's the way to the mixer now. Okay, once it's mixed, should look like this. It's never going to go like a proper dough, like a bread dough, because, well, it's not. It's a naan bread. So it should be like that. Now that's going to get covered in cling film, and we're going to leave for about an hour till it doubles in size, and then we're going to separate it into balls. Okay, that's been cooking for an hour now. I've got these beautiful Duke of York potatoes. I mean, look at these. The skin just falls off of them. So we're popping, you pop as many as you want in. I like a tatty, so I'm going to be quite generous. There's probably about a pound there, actually. Anyway, they're going in. We'll give them a stir. Now these are going to cook for the last 2 hours with the beef. And like everything's just going to get all funky, and the sauce is going to get in the tatties. And right, also we're going to add about half a tablespoon of kassori methi. A little scrunch up. If you can't get that, don't worry about it. You can get it Amazon. You can get it. I think you can get it in Asda's. I've seen it in Tesco's, not often, but definitely Asda's. But not the end of the world if you can't get it. But it just makes it all taste a little bit more Indian. So there you go. That's going on for another 2 hours. Right, it's been about 3/4 of an hour. I'm just going to stretch this dough. It allows it to get a bit stronger. So just pull it up and fold it over on itself. And just keep doing that a few times. You're not kneading it, you're stretching it. And you'll see it will come together a bit more. So do that for a few minutes. And then cover it and leave it to go for a bit, about another half hour. There you go, I'll just show you this way of doing it as well. You can use a scraper. And you can see, you can just turn it over, keep stretching it like that. And you'll see it will start coming together a bit more as a ball. There we go. Ta-da! Okay, it's been about an hour. We're just going to take out this dough now. Pour it onto a floured surface. I've got a container with a tight fitting lid that I'm going to use to prove the balls in. I'll show you in a sec. There we go. I mean, it is a sticky dough because it is, to get that sort of nammy effect. So the container I've just put a little bit of flour in the bottom. I've got a tight fitting lid. So just put a little bit of flour over the top so we can cut it. And we'll cut it into 6 pieces. So 1. You can be a bit more even than me, but there you go. I'm not known for my brains. flour your fingers, and all we're going to do is try and make little balls. Just bring the tops round, stretch it out, tuck it underneath. It's not an easy dough to work with. But there you go, that's it. 6 of them. And the last one, just pull them all up, pinch them off at the top. Make a little ball. Pop it in there. Now we're going to cover these with the lid, and they're going to go for another hour. Okay, quick salad to go with it. So I've got some fresh coriander, nice little tomatoes, and these lovely sweet white onions. These are from the garden. They're like a big spring onion, if you like. So all of them into a bowl. There we go. A little bit of garamassala, just a wee sprinkle. Some nice sea salt, fresh black pepper, good sprinkle of vinegar. I'm using a malt vinegar. I like the darkness of flavour with it. And then just a wee squirt of extra virgin rapeseed oil. And just give that a little mix up. And voila, there you go. Nice fresh salad, just to cheer it up. Right, naan bread. Just gonna grab out our little patties that we made. Bit of flour. We're just gonna roll it out. Be gentle with it, because it is a very delicate. You don't want it all waffle out thin, but you don't want a great big fat thing. It's not a loaf of bread, it's a naan bread. As you pick that up, it's going to stretch. Now I'm cooking them. I'm fortunate I've got a mini oven with a pizza setting, so we get heat from below and above. But you could do this in a pan, get the pan hot, drop the naan bread into it, brush the top, and then put it under the grill. If you've got a really hot oven with a pizza stone, that will work. Anything cast iron, that will work. You can just do it in a pan if you want. Anyway, so we've bashed that out. I've got my hot dish. This is a non-stick one. It's really handy. Can you see as it pulls? So I'm just popping that on there. Take a little bit of melted butter. Just going to give that a wee brush with some butter. Because what don't like a bit of butter on it, eh? There we go. Now, that's going in the oven. The oven is set at 210 degrees actually, so really hot. Right, to finish the curry, as you can see, it's reduced down a bit. It's all nice and thick and scrumptious. These potatoes have really sucked in the sauce. Nice handful of fresh chopped coriander. That's it. That's all you're going to need to do to it. The last of the naan breads are just cooking now. I'll show you those. They've taken about 4 minutes each in that oven. But look, every oven's going to be different. Okay, so do an extra 1 or 2 and just mess about until you find the best way of cooking it. So there you go. That's lunch. Beautiful. Honestly, when these potatoes are like this, you've got to do a sort of stew or a curry or something with them. They're absolutely wonderful. They're really great just with butter as well, but like this. So, lovely naan bread. Let me show you the inside of that. There you go. And then you've got your nice fresh salad, sharp, fresh, and your wonderful potatoes. Look, I know it takes a few hours and it's a bit of work, but sometimes it's worth it, eh? Give it a go.